out here protesting. Yeah. Got some good old boys over in the corners with their AR-15s and AK-47s and stuff like that, though. So, of course, police is all out here. Really don't think nothing's gonna hop off the temple. Temple is so small. Really don't think so.
Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say it louder for his family to show him that we are here and we're behind them forever. Say his name. Thank you. So now it's my turn. I've worked tirelessly to help Patrick and Jordan and try to, and I don't say that for praise. I say that to tell you that I'm sorry I don't have a speech prepared. Obviously, that's not what was in the stars. Like Dory said, when there's a message that needs to be heard, sometimes it comes out. So I'm hoping that right now, it just comes out. I'll start with this shirt that I have. It says Wake Up Temple. I'm pretty much a lifelong resident of Temple. I am Black. Despite some of the things that have been said to me throughout the years from my white counterparts, whom I love dearly. Friends, best friends, but you're not one of them. You're not really Black. And because I'm not, I'm one of the good ones. Black person of color, to graduate in the class of 2010. But not only do I say that, not person of color, we did have, I do not want to exclude our Asian friends who do also face discrimination in this country. But I was the only Black graduate of the IB diploma program, baccalaureate program. And that's a big, and I don't say that to brag, but I say that because I did it. You're right, I did it. And I did it fighting tooth and nail every step of the way. I did it walking into my classroom and having a teacher say, "Are you in the right class?" Temple ISD. My parents taught there for years. My mom was a counselor. She worked at Wheatley with probably some of you out here. Y'all know. Clap if you know my family. The good ones. We know. We feel you. We were in the school district, and I had family. I had connections, and racism still affected me deeply. And so I had to fight tooth and nail to make it, to graduate, walk across that stage with honors. I played on that basketball team. When you know what our basketball teams are made up of, like Dory said.
Coach Sanders.
Coach Sanders, she's here. When we're running up and down the court, it's all fun and games. It's great. We'll watch you. We'll support you. But when it comes to, equality in the classroom and making sure that you have the resources you need as a Black person, are we there for that? Do we have a curriculum that includes authors, Black authors, other authors of color? Do we have that in our curriculum? Who do we have to look up to in their eyes? Who do they get? The janitor, right? That's what they think. That's what they think we can aspire to. You're right. It's sad. It should make you mad. It's disgusting that I have to say that. But that's what they think. Some people do. And not all. Not all teachers, not all people. They don't teach our But that is part of systemic racism and how it does trickle down into every single aspect. And also in reverse, it trickles up. Every individual with that hate in their heart, it trickles up as well because they're teachers, they're police officers, they're nurses. I'm a nurse. I've gotten kicked out of patients' rooms. Get that Black girl away from me. I am going to say the word, and I'm sorry. I've earned the right to say it. Our people have earned the right to say it. And it should sound disgusting coming out of my mouth, just as disgusting as it sounded coming out of theirs. I do not want that nigger nurse in here. That's what they say. If that offends you, it should have offended you when she said it to me, okay? So I don't have a speech. All I can do is tell my story. The story that I've tried to tell to my friends who act like they really want to know on social media. They're here. All right. I'll tell my story. Say how I feel. Wait. No, you can't categorize everyone like that. No, not everyone's like that. No, all lives matter. Why are you promoting divisiveness, Terrace? You're better than that. An inbox, you are better than that. You are promoting divisiveness. I'm promoting divisiveness. Today, I want to tell you, that is not what we're here for. We're here in unity for our community, for that family, for change. I had to put the ego that Dory spoke of. I had to check mine. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Some of the people here, we have different belief systems. We have different religions. And in particular, I'm going to be real, CJ. I had to check myself with you guys. You know, here I am thinking in this way. These guys think differently than me. Why? I don't want them here. No. If they're going to say they're going to be here to be here and support our cause, now it would be divisive of me to say, no, I'm not showing up. I'm going to put my pride aside and say thank you, CJ and your team, for being here. Okay? And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I give you all that example because that's what needs to happen. If you're able to look inside at your own ego and say, man, this isn't, if I really want change, I'm going to have to put my ego aside for the betterment of my community and eventually our nation as a whole. That's what we have to do. That's what I mean when I say wake up, Temple. Wake up. Promote unity. Get over your ego. Cross these lines. Speak to the people who are ready to listen and who are here and ready to be our allies. Don't turn them away. They don't understand. You're right. They can't understand. But the ones who are really trying to, let's help them, okay? So I'm begging y'all, you know, each of us, you know, we know what the Temple Police Department, I have a list of things I would love to speak to our new chief about. And we're gonna continue this fight after this. However, today, again, getting over my ego, he's here. He introduced himself to me. You know, he has an opportunity. Now, do I wish there were this in the statement he said? Sorry. Do I wish in that statement that he gave, I could have heard something else? Yeah, I do. And I'll tell y'all what it was that I wanted to hear, and what I want to hear from the mayor, what I want to hear from our city councilmen and women, what I want to hear from you guys, what I want to hear from the people at home who said that this protest was going to be violent, that we were here to start stuff, to break things. To all of those people, I want you to say, we are in it together, and we will do everything within our power to ensure that something like this never happens again in our community. No speech from my heart, that's what I got. So go out and be the change that you wish to see, and let's do it together for those who are willing to walk this path with us. Now, speaking of which, we have CJ Grisham. Thank you for being here, and thanks for crossing some political divides or, you know, skin tone divides, whatever divides we may have. We're here for the same goal, so thank you.
Hey, I really appreciate when I found out that this was going to happen, I immediately reached out to Patrick and said, hey, look, I want to help and help provide security to make sure that your peaceful protest stays that way, to show that we support you, that we're with you, that everybody's with you, because every single person in the city should be upset about what has happened to Michael Dean. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, because that's just the beginning. We have a problem in Bell County with our justice system. Sitting in jail right now, who's been in jail since May 14th, 2014. His name is Marvin Lewis Guy. Who has not heard of Marvin Lewis Guy? Just kind of put your hands up. You know, you don't know who I'm talking about, and oh my gosh, I apologize. Marvin Lewis Guy is a black man that had a no-knock raid on his house in Killeen at 5 a.m. in the morning. And what happened was Michael Dean did what every patriotic person that loves his family and believes in his freedom and his privacy does at 5 in the morning. When someone busts down your door and busts down your window, he returned fire. And what ended up happening was the people coming through his door, they weren't your typical thugs, but they were thugs. And they busted down that door on a warrant that was baseless. ended up in a gunfight. As soon as Marvin found out and realized that those were cops rushing in his door, he'd already shot one and killed him and shot another one. And he immediately threw his gun on the ground and got on the ground. That's the only reason he's alive today. Because as soon as he recognized that these were cops, he threw his gun down. He's been sitting at Bell County for 6 years without a trial. Without a trial. Now, I came on this, I'm currently in law school because I believe we have a problem with... Come. Deontay, please come to the front. All right, I got Deontay coming. Test, test.
Hey, how y'all doing today? All right, my name is Deontay Davis. I'm a young and up-and-coming activist for our community. But I want to thank everybody for coming out here and showing support for Michael Dean and his family, right, for the black community in Temple, because Black Lives Matter. No, I said Black Lives Matter. I need to hear it. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Now I want y'all to say something else that's even more powerful. Say, I love my black self. I want everybody to hear it. Everybody say, I love my black self. I love my black self. I want the people who are not as dark as me to also say, I love my black self. If y'all support us, y'all need to love y'all black self. Because if we won, and we gonna make unity, you need to say, I love my black self. So let me hear it again. I love my black self. One more time for everybody here. I love my black self. Y'all, I can't hear it. I said, I love my black self. I love my black self. They talked about systemic injustice. They talked about how black people are not getting their fair shake in our community and in our society. So what does that mean for black people to do? That means we gotta get active. That means we gotta mobilize. That means we gotta start going to those courthouses, attending those meetings. That means we gotta start voting for our commissioners. We gotta start voting for our DAs. We gotta start voting for our judges. Because why? Because we love our black self. Let me hear y'all say it again. I love my black self. I love my black self. I can't hear y'all. I love my black self. I love my black self. I ain't gonna take two more of y'all time, so I'm leaving y'all on that. Hashtag Black Lives Matter.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the next person on our agenda here, but I did want to take a moment to say thank you for that. But he is right. The voting part, he's right. Not just to vote Trump out. I know we all want that. Well, most of us here, again, we talked about crossing those divides, right? Most of us here want that, right? So register to vote, right? And we need to know and be educated on who to vote for. Not just, all right, we registered, now who, okay? And so let me introduce you to some people who are worthy of your vote, who are here with us today. Clayton Tucker, can you please come up here, just show your face? Clayton and I have had extensive conversations about what has happened to Michael Dean and racism in our community. And he is running for Senate District 24. 24, sorry. I'm nervous still too, okay? And he's here, and I would encourage you to look him up, look up his platform, but not just him, everybody. Yeah, oh, she's next. Oh yeah, she's next, I seen her. We saved the best for last. Nah, just kidding, Clayton, we love you. We love you. But you know what? Like we said, we love our black selves, And one of our black selves, Kiki Williams, is also here in attendance.
So I've been seeing a lot of things talking of the people making commentary. Interestingly enough, the ones I've noticed that have been making the commentary are wealthy black people making the commentary about we should not be rioting, we should not be looting, we should not be tearing up our own communities. And then there's been an argument of the other side of we should be hitting them in the pocket. We should be focusing on the blackout days where we don't spend money. But you know, I feel like we should do both. And I feel like I support both. And I'll tell you why I support both. I support both because when you have a civil unrest like this, there are three types of people in the streets. There are the protesters, there are the rioters, and there are the looters. The protesters are there because they actually care about what is happening in the community. They want to raise their voices, and they are there strictly to protest. You have the rioters who are angry, who are anarchists, who really just want to fuck shit up, and that's what they're going to do regardless. And then you have the looters. And the looters almost exclusively are just there to do that, to loot. Now, people are like, well, what did you gain? Well, what did you get from looting? I think that as long as we're focusing on the what, we're not focusing on the why, and that's my issue with that. As long as we're focusing on what they're doing, we're not focusing on why they're doing. And some people are like, well, those aren't people who are legitimately angry about what's happening. Those are people who just want to get stuff. Okay, well then, let's go with that. Let's say that's what it is. Let's ask ourselves why in this country in 2020, the financial gap between poor blacks and the rest of the world is at such a distance that people feel like their only hope and only opportunity to get some of the things that we flaunt and flash in front of them all the time is to walk through a broken glass window and get it. That they are so hopeless that getting that necklace, getting that TV, getting that change, getting that bed, getting that phone, whatever it is that they're gonna get, is that in that moment when the riots happen and if they present an opportunity of looting, that's their only opportunity to get it. We need to be questioning that why. Why are people that poor? Why are people that broke? Why are people that food insecure, that clothing insecure, that they feel like their only shot, that they are shooting their shot by walking through a broken glass window to get what they need? And then people want to talk about, well, there's plenty of people who pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and got it on their own. Why can't they do that? Let me explain to you something about economics in America. And I'm so glad that as a child I got an opportunity to spend time at Push where they taught me this, is that we must never forget that economics was the reason that black people were brought to this country. We came to do the agricultural work in the South and the textile work in the North. Do you understand that? That's what we came to do. We came to do the agricultural work in the South and the textile work in the North. Now, if I right now decided that I wanted to play Monopoly with you, and for 400 rounds of playing Monopoly, I didn't allow you to have any money, I didn't allow you to have anything on the board, I didn't allow for you to have anything, and then we played another 50 rounds of Monopoly, and everything that you gained and you earned while you were playing that round of Monopoly was taken from you. That was Tulsa, that was Rosewood. Those are places where we built black economic wealth, where we were self-sufficient, where we owned our stores, where we owned our property, and they burned them to the ground. So that's 450 years. So for 400 rounds of Monopoly, you don't get to play at all. Not only do you not get to play, you have to play on the behalf of the person that you're playing against. You have to play and make money and earn wealth for them, and then you have to turn it over to them. So then for 50 years, you finally get a little bit and you're allowed to play. And every time that they don't like the way that you're playing, or that you're catching up, or that you're doing something to be self-sufficient, they burn your game. They burn your cards. They burn your Monopoly money. And then finally at the release and the onset of that, they allow you to play and they say, okay, now you catch up. Now at this point, the only way you're going to catch up in the game is if the person shares the wealth, correct? But what if every time you share the wealth, then there's psychological warfare against you to say, oh, you're an equal opportunity hire. So if I played 400 rounds of Monopoly with you and I had to play and give you every dime that I made, and then for 50 years, Every time that I played, if you didn't like what I did, you got to burn it like they did in Tulsa and like they did in Rosewood. How can you win? How can you win? You can't win. The game is fixed. So when they say, why do you burn down the community? Why do you burn down your own neighborhood? It's not ours. Trevor Noah said it so beautifully last night. There's a social contract that we all have, that if you steal or if I steal, then the person who is the authority comes in and they fix the situation. But the person who fixes the situation is killing us. So the social contract is broken. And if the social contract is broken, why the fuck do I give a shit about burning the fucking Football Hall of Fame, about burning a fucking Target? You broke the contract when you killed us in the streets and didn't give a fuck. You broke the contract when for 400 years we played your game and built your wealth. You broke the contract when we built our wealth again on our own, by our bootstraps in Tulsa, and you dropped bombs on us. When we built it in Rosewood and you came in and you slaughtered us. You broke the contract, so fuck your Target. Fuck your Hall of Fame. As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground. And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.